Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I wanted to showcase Shadow Cacturne in the Open Great League. Well, saying I wanted to showcase it might be stretching things a little bit. I kind of have to. I'm running out of Pokemon to use right now. What does that even mean? Well, let me show you something here. This is the list of Pokemon I am no longer allowed to use this week. Basically, I'm doing a challenge live on Twitch where every time I get a sub, I am forced to ban one of the Pokemon I'm currently using. So I have 80 Pokemon I'm currently not allowed to use for the rest of the week right now, so Shadow Cacturne, I guess, somehow is the Pokemon that I'm ending up with here, but it is actually legitimately an impressive Pokemon. With that said, the team that I used with it today, I would not recommend in the slightest. You can see Lickitung here coming back from the grave, and also Claydol, a Pokemon that should not be within a 7-foot pole of Open Great League, but here we are. Honestly, this team worked out way better than it had any right to, but Shadow Cacturne is the MVP. If you want to see me play live, I stream almost every day at twitch.tv/ItsAXN starting 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern. I'd love to see you there, but let's take a look at what Shadow Cacturne can do. All right, game number one here. We're going to see our Claydol up against the Shadow Drapion lead. That's actually a fantastic lead matchup for us. We do have to keep in mind, though, that the charge move pressure that Shadow Drapion has would end up doing a lot of damage to our Claydol, so I don't want to give them a lot of energy if I can help it. In comes the Azumarill safe swap. Luckily, even though Lickitung did get that body slam nerf here this season, what we do have is the ability to go straight Power Whip against this matchup, and this matchup is still just as strong as it used to be. I don't want to give that Shadow Drapion a huge farm down here, so I'm going to purposely let my Lickitung take as much damage as possible, put us low into the red before taking out this Azumarill. They're building up a lot of energy here. Could potentially be a Hydro Pump, but I don't think they're actually going to run it. I'm going to no-shield it. If it's a play rough, then we're going to be pretty low into a range where I'm a lot more comfortable with giving the Drapion a farm down. In comes our next move. Body Slam did get nerfed. Might not knock out, but we're not going to be in range where they can bubble us down before we can lick them down. We get the full lick down. We have a Body Slam loaded, and we can't quite get to the Power Whip. It does do more raw damage despite being resisted against the Poison type, just because Body Slam is not a great move. Body Slam does do a decent chunk, though. Puts them about a third of their health down, and now our Claydol can line back up into this. They have 3 Poison Stinks for now, so if they threw a charge move, I know for a fact that's just going to be an Aqua Tail. I can no-shield this, and hopefully our Shadow Cacturne is going to be able to close out the backline. We're going to see the Malamar as the final pick. We resist these Psywaves. Superpower would one-shot us, though, so we're going to have to respect that, shield this up potentially. But look at this Sucker Punch damage. We've only done like 7 Sucker Punches. This Malamar almost in the red already, and that is not the end of it. We're going to boost our attack as well. How much damage are we going to be able to do with this? We're going to take them out from there. Are we going to be able to Sucker Punch down the Shadow Drapion? We are outpacing the damage here, able to take out the Dark and Poison type with our Shadow Cacturne. Crazy stuff there. All right, terrible lead. One of the worst leads I could see, but I'm going to safe swap our Lickitung, hopefully make something happen here. I know that I can still reach the Body Slam before a Superpower is going to be reached from the Shadow Dragonite, so at this point, I'm just going to try our best to use our Lickitung to neutralize this and potentially use Claydol in the back. What are they going to throw? They do build up a little bit of extra energy, and since they no-shielded, I am almost certain they're just going to go Superpower here. They're going to try to knock us out, but I am fine with that. I don't think I'm going to need my Lickitung too much later this game. I'm going to invest in Claydol now that our Shadow, now that the Shadow Dragonite is going to be out of the way. We get the full Sucker Punch down. Unfortunately, in the backline here, going to be a Shadow, Alolan Sandslash. I have Trailblaze. It's not going to do a lot of damage, but if I do end up landing it, it's going to put this thing pretty low. Our opponent does end up shielding that move, and since we're doing boosted fast move pressure, I'm going to stay in here for a second, get as much damage as I can against this thing, and this is a very awkward situation. I think they can get to 2 moves before I can Mud Slap them down. If they survive this next one on 1 HP, which they do, unfortunately, they're going to be able to throw that charge move, knock out our Claydol. Well, it wouldn't knock out, but it'd do a lot of damage if we don't end up shielding it. So we end up shielding our Claydol, and fortunately, the backline matchup is fantastic for our Claydol. Who would have thought that in the Open Great League here, Claydol has any sort of play, but look at it go. It's going to be able to absorb all of the electric type fast move pressure from this Steelix. Even if they have Crunch, it's not going to knock us out. Claydol's actually pretty bulky, and that Alolan Sandslash is dry on energy. Crunch comes through. We survive that so easily. They do get the defense drop, but that's not going to matter at this point. I'm well within range where I can survive a Powder Snow still, and they are in Mud Slap down range on their Alolan Sandslash just in 1 fast move. We get the full backline sweep with our Claydol. Who would have thought? All right, next game, we're going to see Claydol up against a Unnovan Stunfisk, a fantastic lead this time. We had a terrible lead in the last game, so it's good to have a little bit of a break here, and now a Dugong as a safe swap. This is a Pokemon that is going to be a little bit tricky if they want to play up the 2-shield matchup, but I don't really care about switch this game. If they want to go down shields, that's fine by me. I have a Grass type in the back. I have my Electric type, or my Ground type rather, as well, to counter that Electric type Pokemon that they have from that lead matchup, so switch is not something I'm going to go for this game. I just want to guarantee right now that we are able to not give them a huge energy lead with that U-Fisk. That'd probably be the worst thing I could do, or potentially give them an energy lead with their final Pokemon, whatever that might be. In comes another move. They threw a Drill Run actually there, which makes me think that they're probably going to try to sacrifice this matchup. They're not trying to play out this extended scenario, so I'm just going to go straight for the Power Whip, see if it goes unshielded, and try to take switch advantage this game. Looks like a little bit of lag going through here, but we do get the Power Whip off, and now what are they going to come in with? It's going to be tricky to know what it's going to be exactly. If it is that U-Fisk, though, I'm going to swap out. Honestly, I should probably swap out to Cacturne either way. It is a superior opponent, lagging a little bit here. Looks like they're not getting too many fast moves. There they are. They're getting their fast moves back. But even if they were able to get to these aerial aces, I know that I can easily just get a ton of fast move pressure here with our Shadow Cacturne and neutralize this so our Claydol could take out that Unova and Stunfisk. But look at this fast move pressure. We didn't throw a single charge move. We didn't boost our attack. We just almost countered down. I keep saying counter. It's Sucker Punch. It's not counter. But counter is the move that it was modeled after, I guess, before they ended up nerfing that attack. Sucker Punch is just such a crazy fast move right now in the meta. We're going to see a Chestnut lead in the next game. Our Claydol wants nothing to do with it, but our Lickitung honestly doing a very strong job of absorbing that Frenzy Plant, going for this Body Slam, and these licks are going to start adding up. I know this is a very bad matchup, but at the very least, we're neutralizing this Pokemon, so we don't have to deal with it with, honestly, our Claydol or even our Cacturne probably wouldn't want to deal with this because of that fighting typing. Body Slam does come through, it puts them very low, lick damage is adding up, but they get to another charge move. They overfarmed a lot here, so there's a chance they might even get to a third charge move if they end up clearing this debuff and want to swap out of their Cacturne, or out of their Chestnut rather here. In comes our Cacturne into the B barrel, and now this is going to be a very interesting endgame. I don't know what their final Pokemon is going to be, but I do know that Chestnut is pretty low. There's a chance that if I can start ramping up with our Cacturne, maybe we can win this one. I'm going to throw the Trailblaze right now. I know at this point, if they let it go, it's going to obviously knock out. It's a grass type move. It probably one-shots from full health. I haven't landed a move from full health just yet, but I'm going to land a couple later on in the video. You're going to see just how much damage that's going to end up doing. We end up just going for the fast move pressure against this Auroras, because I think that my win condition this game is just trying to fast move it down. This is a very tricky Pokemon to see. One of the bulkier ice types actually in the meta, but my Mud Slaps are super effective. With that said, this thing is very healthy. I don't know if I can Mud Slap them down before they get to another charge move. Have to shield this up, or else I get fast move down, and in comes that Chestnut. Unfortunately, they survive one Mud Slap on 1 HP. They get off the Frenzy Plant, and they can take the win here. GG's for opponent. Unfortunately, sometimes you're not going to win with the Claydol and Shadow Cacturne core. Alright, that's a terrible lead matchup. The Talonflame, one of the worst leads, honestly, this entire team could see, but I'm going to try to play it out with our Claydol. Potentially, we could have some play here. Claydol could have Rock Tomb, so maybe I'm going to get a shield advantage here, and if I can neutralize this Talonflame, there's a good chance that Shadow Cacturne is going to pop off in the backline. Ice Beam comes through. It gets shielded, actually, which is good, but also a little bit awkward depending on how they want to play this one out. I'm going to no-shield, hoping for no Brave Bird right now. That's a Flame Charge, actually a little bit scarier. If they get a full farm down against us right now, then we're going to be in such a bad position, because I know this energy on Talonflame is unresisted in my backline. Are they running Brave Bird? Are they running Fly? Is that second charge move? If it's Brave Bird, it's going to do so much damage. But look at how much we've done to this Talonflame already. I have shield advantage. I've taken out one of the trickiest Pokemon for my team. In comes the Fly. Doesn't do that much damage, so fortunately not a Brave Bird. And in the backline, going to see a Gastrodon Save Swap. This is looking alright for us right now. There's a chance we can win this game depending on what the final Pokemon's going to be. I have to shield this up. Shadow Cacturne, one of the squishiest Pokemon in the game. We are resisting these Mud Slaps, but we are almost at half health already. That is how squishy we are. There's a chance here, though, that we could still win this one. I throw this Trailblazer, they let it go. What is their final Pokemon? As long as it's not a hard counter to Cacturne, we could probably win this game. Well, that is not what we wanted to see. The Shadow Machamp, probably one of the hardest counters to Cacturne. They resist our fast move. We're taking a lot of damage from theirs, and they generate energy so quickly. They can also take out our Lickitung. With that said, we got the shield. Can we get to a Body Slam here, potentially knock them out? I'm not sure. I'm not even sure if we reach the Body Slam, if it would be enough after the Body Slam nerf that happened last season. We don't barely reach it, unfortunately. Somehow we almost came back from the Talonflame lead, but they had that Shadow Machamp, a huge core breaker in the back as well. This team just barely not enough to overcome it. Next game, we're going to see Claydol up against a B-Barrel, a Pokemon that you might expect to be a hard counter to us, having that water typing, but we also resist the rock type damage that this Pokemon's thrown, so potentially our Claydol could have some play here. What I like to do with this team, which, I mean, I don't know why I'm saying this, because I don't think anyone's going to copy this team, but I like to play it out so I give my Shadow Cacturne shield advantage, right? I'm not going to shield these moves. I'm going to just try to take shield advantage in the lead, use our Lickitung to absorb the energy from the lead Pokemon if they end up shielding it, and then use our Shadow Cacturne with 2 shields in the backline. So if you do plan on using this team, I guess that's the strategy to use, right? Just invest everything into Shadow Cacturne. Claydol and Lickitung are just merely here to try to give our Cacturne some sort of advantage. They do end up throwing a charge move, going to likely be a Hyper Fang. I'm not sure how much this does, honestly. Lickitung, very bulky. B-Barrel honestly still does quite a bit of damage to us, though. This next Body Slam will come through, but it is not going to knock them out. What I want to do now is get the energy initiative, come in Shadow Cacturne. Now I have energy lead against whatever their backline is going to be. How weak are they to our Shadow Cacturne? What do they have in the back? That is the big question here. That is a good sign. What the heck? They come in with a Drift Limb. Look at these Sucker Punches. Nearly fast move them down before they get to a single charge move. If this was a Shadow Drift Limb, I don't think they even get a charge move here. We do draw the Shield with the Grass type move. I'm going to trade Shield for a Shield. I boost my attack. They're going to lower mine with the Icy Wind, but I think Shield Advantage Cacturne is still going to put in a lot of work in the backline. I can see why they were in a little bit of a predicament this game. They have a Diggersby in the back. How much does a Trailblaze do? Neutral Trailblaze, well, super effective Trailblaze, but at +0, not boosted at all. Nearly one-shots them, puts them into fast move farm down range. Now I can Sucker Punch down this Diggersby, Sucker Punch down that Drift Limb. I think that our Shadow Cacturne is just getting the full sweep here in the entire backline. And I guess we took out the B-Barrel too. That's just an entire Shadow Cacturne sweep. This Pokemon is crazy. All right, Charger Bug in the lead. One of the best leads we could see here, but we want to make sure that if we go down shields, like that would be kind of bad, right? Because going down shields could potentially lose us this game. X-Scissor is super effective against both Cacturne and Claydol, so we see the Shadow Marowak safe swap. I could have come in instantly with my Cacturne, but I feel like I want to save my Grass type potentially for the backline. Maybe there's an Azumarill, maybe there's another Mud Slapper in the back, something else that could be weak to Grass type, so I want to just kind of leverage advantage, get the shield with that Scorching Sands, and then come in, absorb the energy with Lickitung, and once again invest everything into my Shadow Cacturne. This Pokemon might not be the most meta-relevant pick, at least not the Pokemon you'd see around too much, but if you invest in it properly, you're going to see how much damage and how much just offensive pressure it has. We take another charge move here, going to be a Bone Club. If I can farm this down, then I'm going to invest everything in Shadow Cacturne right now. I'm going to come in, get that energy lead. You cannot come into this matchup with the Charge Bug. They don't do any fast move pressure. This is a perfect opportunity for me to set up against them. These Sucker Punches are doing so much damage that is not super effective. I swear, we're not doing super effective damage here, but it looks like we are. That Trailblaze resisted damage puts them into range where I just have to shield once, Sucker Punch all the way down. I have a boosted, energy-loaded Cacturne against whatever the final Pokemon's going to be. What is in the back here? I guess we'll never know. Our opponent did not want to show us here, and with that, we do end up getting a nice 4-in-1 set, actually, I believe, to end off the day. I did not expect Shadow Cacturne to do as well as it did here. Yeah, 4-1 with this team. I also had a 4-1 set in the set previous to this, which I don't know how we did it. Bit of a shorter video today because I don't have too many games where I use the same team. I wanted to showcase one team today, so I wanted to do the Shadow Cacturne one. We didn't have, 20 games like we would normally have, but we did end up having quite a few fun ones here. So a quicker video. I hope you guys enjoyed the Shadow Cacturne gameplay and maybe inspired you a little bit to build a team around it. Don't use this one. It's not a good team, but maybe with the right team, Shadow Cacturne could put in a lot of work. Alright, well, thank you so much for watching today's video. I stream my battles basically every day at twitch.tv/ItsAXN, so if you want to see this kind of gameplay live, please make sure to check me out there. Also, I'm going to upload a lot more to the channel, so if you want to see more videos like this, please make sure to subscribe. Thank you again for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.